Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye,
Mr. Comey.
Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye,
Mr. Comey.
In case you don't know why we're celebrating or you've been living on a rock, Trump has fired Comey. He came in, he said, Comey, you're fired. Or as Vince McMahon likes to say, you're fired. Now, now let's just get right into this. James Comey, the former, God, I love that word, former FBI director, was fired earlier this week on a Tuesday. We're going to go in depth, and we're going to give you the timeline of this, and we're going to break it all down for you so to make some sense. So Tuesday, Trump sent out a memo to James Comey, and I'll read it right now. Let me bring that up. I mean, it's not like it's. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you've read it, but it is so freaking awesome that you just got to be read again. So let me. All right, if it'll load. You got some internet problems. In case you can't hear in the background, there's rain going on and internet connection might be slow. And plus, there's a whole bunch of hacking going on that we're going to get into. But first, finally, the letter has loaded. Okay, this is from Trump, the White House, Washington, May 9th, 2017. Dear Director Comey, I have received the attached letters from the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General, which is Jeff Sessions as the Attorney General. Deputy Attorney General is Rod Rosenstein of the United States, recommending me your dismissal as the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I have accepted their recommendation and hereby terminated and removed from office effective immediately. Oh man, I love that. And this next paragraph right here really sticks it to him. While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, nevertheless, I concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice.
To remember, that's an important point.
Absolutely.
To remember, by the way.
This is very important. Again, while I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you are not able to effectively lead the Bureau. That is brutal. That is brutal. That is brutal. It is essential that we find new leadership for the FBI that restores public trust and confidence in its vital law enforcement mission. She's in her bedroom, Nikki. She doesn't want anybody to see her bedroom. It's okay, Nikki. It is essential that we find new leadership for the FBI that restores public trust and confidence in its vital law enforcement mission. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. President Donald J. Trump. Now, while
he future endeavored him.
Yeah, best of luck on your future endeavors, which, geez, I don't know what he's going to do now. Anyway, but while this was going on, former director of the FBI, James Comey, was in L.A., and he was getting ready to speak until people saw on the background of a TV that he has been fired. And Comey thought it was a joke.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
That was, I don't know if that was planned or not, but that was epic. That was epic if it would have been planned.
But at this point, you know what? You can't believe anything you see on TV. You know?
Yeah.
So I really wonder what he was thinking, if he was just blowing it off.
Yeah, he blew it off and he thought it was a prank. And then all of his advisors was like rushed him into the room and told him that he'd been fired.
That's wrong. That shouldn't have happened that way.
And it might have just been coincidence too.
Well,
I don't know.
I'll say, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nikki.
No, I was just gonna say they went through the protocol, you know, and the protocol was just that he had to inform him through a letter he was going to be terminated. and that his services were no longer needed. And that's that. Whether he was next door in the next room or however many miles away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they're making such a big deal about why he didn't fire him immediately versus right now.
Well, if you wind the clock back a few months ago, I specifically stated on this show that James Comey needed to be fired, but now is not the right time because the media is going to say, oh, there's going to be a cover-up, or the reason why he's firing him is because Comey's on to this Russia investigation, and by golly, Shane Stradamus called it. When he got fired, the media was all on this, saying, oh, this is treasonous, this is unconstitutional, he's doing this because it's a cover-up, because Comey's onto the Russian investigation, even though Trump is not being investigated himself. It's just his campaign. But let's go down through the timeline. Let's wind the clock back to July 5th, the day after the 4th of July, when Comey, and I remember this because I was at school and I watched at work actually, and I watched this as he announced that he can recommend that his recommendation that Hillary Clinton should not be pressed charges. That's like basically having a cop out there and reading the rights off of, say, Ted Bundy, and be like, well, Ted Bundy, I'm not going to recommend this guy to be prosecuted. Even though he raped, killed, and blah, 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 I'm not recommending him to be prosecuted. I mean, he lined it out. He said, Hillary did do this, she did do that, she did have the private server, the emails was that, and all that. He laid it out, and at the end of all that, he concluded there's no investigation and she should not be prosecuted. And then that's when the Democrats was all, yay, yay, woo, yay, woo. Fast forward it to October when he reopened the investigation. We opened the investigation 11 days before the election. And this right here is the key right here of the whole hypocritical of the establishment media and the entire extremist left and all the Maxine Crypt Keeper Waters and Crazy Eyed Nancy's and Count Dracula Chuck Schumer. So Comey reopened the investigation because of the whole Hubert Abedin and Anthony Weiner email scandal. Before that, Anthony Weiner got caught texting an underage girl, his junk and sexting and all that crap. So they
with his son in the same room.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then what they did was they confiscated all of his electronic devices. They found emails pertaining to the Hillary Clinton investigation on his devices. So they had to reopen an investigation. And then that right there apparently cost Hillary Clinton the election, if you believe Hillary Clinton and the media. Which, you know, her poll numbers has been tanking. She said, if the investigation was held on October 27th, I would have won. No, you would not, because your poll numbers would have been tanking ever since October. Ever since October, your poll numbers were tanking. Now, if you would have, you know, believed the media or the New York Times or anything like that, she would have had a 99.9% chance of winning the election.
She believed the fake news.
Well, the fake news was in her bag. I mean, they were in her bag the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
yeah, she is a bag.
Yeah, exactly. So he reopened the investigation 11 days before the election on October 28th. And then after that, on November 6th, Comey wrote a second letter saying that based on a review, we have not changed our conclusions that we last expressed in July. Now, let's stop right there. So from July, October, and November, that were praising Comey after he said there was no evidence found and they decided not to prosecute him. And then there was uproar, especially with me, and the people that voted for Trump saying, lock her up, she really needs to be locked up, and she might be locked up. She might be getting ready to put on that orange jumpsuit since Comey's no longer there and helping her.
Yeah.
But Lock her up. And
Shane, there was a meme that I saw. It's Bill Clinton, helping Hillary Clinton get on a plane. And you can see she shit her pink suit.
Oh,
It says, "Uh-oh, Comey was just fired. Let me help you change that." To help her change her pink suit.
Yeah. Well, good thing it wasn't white.
Oh my God.
Well,
they were condemning Comey not 6 months ago.
Well, ever since October.
Waters. Yeah.
No, ever since October, they said Comey is unfit to be director of the FBI because he reopened the investigation 11 days before the election, and he was he, along with the Russians, were the main reason that Trump got elected. That was their whole talking points throughout the whole after the election. Hillary Clinton herself said that he should have been fired or resigned or whatever.
That freaking lunatic Maxine Waters thrown up her hands on TV. He has no credibility.
Yeah, exactly. Keeper Maxine Waters says that he should resign. The Count Dracula, Chuck Schumer called for resignation. All these freaking celebrities said that Comey should resign or be fired or whatever. Crazy Eye Nancy Pelosi said that his credibility is gone, whatever. Now he's been fired for the exact reason because of his handling of the email investigation of Hillary Clinton. Now they say, "Oh, this is treasonous. This is unconstitutional. Trump did it because Comey's onto something. He's trying to cover shit up." I mean, okay, first off, you say that Comey is inexperienced. Why punt the guy that has no credibility and that helped Trump, quote, that helped Trump get elected over the investigation of Donald Trump and his campaign? Why would you punt the guy that helped Trump get elected over top of the Russian campaign and saying that he has credibility? But you guys say that he has no credibility and that he got Trump elected. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, this right here shows how hypocritical the media and the extremist left and the whole political system is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. Completely.
Here's the thing. We've got now you've got them saying this is a grotesque abuse of power. This is Nixonian. This is like Richard Nixon. No, it is not. One thing that they conveniently leave out, that the fake news and the Democrats conveniently leave out, is that in 1993, Bill Clinton fired the director of the FBI, William Sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And not one mumbling word from them about that.
The only time I heard that was on alternative media sources. That was it. But going back to
one word about Bill Clinton firing his FBI director.
Yeah. But going back to the whole Nixonian and Saturday Night Massacre, Archibald Cox. First off, Archibald was not an FBI director. He was a special prosecutor over top of the Watergate scandal. And even the Nixon Library came out and said that Richard Nixon never fired an FBI director on Twitter. So this is not Nixonian. I mean, every time something like this happens, their talking points. This is their talking points. Nixonian, unconstitutional, treasonous. Those are the talking points right there. But let's dive further here. So on January 6th of this year, Comey was among the 4 top U.S. intelligence officers who briefed then President-elect Trump on the conclusions that Russia meddled in the presidential election. On March 8th, during a cybersecurity conference in Boston, and I love this quote from James Comey. This is the only quote I love for James Comey. He's quote, and I quote, "You're stuck with me for another 6.5 years." And then, going back to March of this year, Comey testifies to Congress that the FBI has been investigating possible links between Trump associates and Russia officials since July. So they've been investigating since July of last year. Shred of evidence has come forth. Not one leak, not no evidence, nothing has come forth. So July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Now we're going into May. So 11 months this Russia investigation has been going on. Not one shred of credible evidence has been brought forth. I mean, if there is anything to this, at least have one tiny bit of evidence to prove that Russia and Trump colluded.
The president has been exonerated on 3 separate occasions by James Comey.
Yeah. And not only that, Nikki. Hey Nikki, not only that, you had James Clapper, all right, a guy who I detest so much. James Clapper came out and say once under oath this past Monday, and said that was no evidence between Trump and Russia. Dianne Feinstein came out and said that she has seen no evidence. Crypt Keeper Maxine Waters says she's seen no evidence, even though she said there's evidence. I mean, come on, people, give me a break.
And it just shows you how the hypocrisy of these people. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and did you see that Donald Trump trolled Rosie O'Donnell on Twitter today?
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get into that. But let's continue on with this this story with James Comey, because this is big. This is his history. We're living through history right now. March 20th, Comey testifies to Congress, saying that they've been investigating since July, the same month that he held the unusual news conference. So when he held that news conference way back in July 5th, it was very unusual for an FBI director to do that. And not only that, Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General at the time, did not recuse herself because she was caught talking to Bill Clinton on a plane, even though it was supposed to be about the grandkids and golf and whatnot. That was a bunch of bullshit. You know that.
Yeah, we know there was more going on than just that on that tarmac.
That's all that was being talked about.
I mean, the whole tarmac conversation would have not been brought up if she wasn't been caught on camera coming out of that plane. Comey had previously, and this is still in March, Comey had previously refused to acknowledge the parallel Trump investigation. In his disclosure, he arranges Democrats who already blamed Comey for costing the Clinton the presidency. Here's the thing. Comey didn't cost the Clinton the presidency. Russia didn't cost Hillary. The American people that voted for Hillary cost Hillary.
Hillary cost Hillary.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What was Vince? And it was Brett screwed Brett. Hillary screwed Hillary. Yeah. Hillary screwed Hillary.
Exactly.
Same day, March 20th, Comey testifies at the same hearing that the FBI and Justice Department has no information to sustain Trump's unsustainable claim on Twitter that the former President Obama wiretapped him. Obama did wiretap him. His phones was wiretapped. The New York Times came out in an article stating that Trump was wiretapped. It still wouldn't surprise me if Trump is still wiretapped. This month, May 3rd, testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Comey insists that he was consistent in handling of the separate investigations into Clinton and Trump. Comey also said it made him feel mildly nauseous. Well, it made me feel mildly nauseous when you basically let Hillary off the hook. To think that his actions in October might have influenced the election outcome. But he told senators, and I quote, I can't consider for a second whose political futures would be affected and in what way. We have to ask ourselves, what is the right thing to do, and then to do it. And then after the testimony that Comey did, which was erratic and ill-forgotten because Comey discredited himself, so a whole bunch.
I would be like, dude, if you have to ask what the right thing to do is, you're certainly not qualified for that damn job.
Exactly.
If you got to ask what the right thing to do, you know what the right thing was. Get Hillary.
Yeah, I mean, you held a press conference to announce all the things that she's guilty at, but to conclude that there's no wrongdoing. Well, and continuing on May 9th, 3 days after, 6 days after he testified, Comey sends Congress a letter correcting his prior sworn testimony. So he basically lied under his first testimony, and he had to correct himself regarding the emails handled by long-time Clinton associate Huma Abedin. Comey had told Congress that Abedin had sent hundreds and thousands of emails, direct quote, to her husband's laptop, including some with classified information. The 2-page follow-up letter said that, in fact, there was a small number, direct quote, of thousands of emails that has been found on the laptop that had been forwarded there, while most had simply been backed up from electronic devices. So I saw a little bit of this testimony on May 3rd, and what Comey said was that Huma emailed her husband, Anthony Weiner, emails so that he could print them off and have hard copy, so that she could have the hard copies of them. Nikki, you've been quiet. Did you see the testimony with Comey before a couple of days before he got fired?
Yeah.
I saw bits and pieces of it.
I've been following it all. It's just so ridiculous how the Democrats are spinning it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely.
They so want it to be a conspiracy. They so want it to be a cover-up that, you know, they're getting rid of that. Trump's getting rid of him to hide something. You know, when he pretty much stated from the beginning that he was gonna clean house to give people a decent chance at their job.
Yeah.
He didn't fulfill that, and he was not forthright with a lot of the stuff he was saying. So I think he was on a time limit. You know, he was going to be axed no matter what, and I don't see anybody else can't see that.
I think someone needs to remind Mr. Comey that lying under oath is perjury, and that's the same thing they impeached Bill Clinton for.
I mean, the FBI had to send a letter correcting his sworn testimony. I mean, if that's not lying under oath, I don't know what is.
They're never going to get anywhere, because they're always going to try to make it out to be that it's all meant to be that way, to cover something up.
But the story doesn't end here. It doesn't end here, and it's not going to end here until the Russia investigation is completely dead in the water. And Comey, to me, I feel like Comey was the only person that's trying to prop up this dead and Russia investigation, because he was the only one that was investigating all this. He's out. The investigation is going to continue no matter what, but he was the only one that's been propping this up ever since in July.
But they already said there's no collusion. CIA said no collusion. FBI said no collusion. The DNC said no collusion. You know, what more do they want? Well, they want an independent investigation.
Prosecutor. Yeah.
But
Chuck Schumer, old Count Dracula, wanted Mitch McConnell to appoint a special prosecutor. Mitch McConnell basically told him, not so many words, go F yourself.
Yeah, I mean, on the same day that Comey got fired, reports were coming in through all these people saying, this is a travesty. deserved better and all this other nonsense after belittling the guy for months and saying that Trump was Comey's homie. All right, I saw that. I saw the meme in a T-shirt. But the same day that we sent the letter correcting Comey's testimony was the same exact day that Trump fires Comey. Now, I at the top of the hour, I read the letter about Trump saying that Comey, on 3 separate occasions, told him he's not under investigation. Now, at May 10th, we got more information about that. Apparently, Trump called Trump and Comey had a dinner, and Trump flat out asked him, "Is he under investigation?" And Comey said no. And then the other 2 times was phone calls. Those phone calls, don't be surprised if they were recorded. Phone calls in the White House are recorded, and Trump came out today saying that basically if you leak anything, don't be surprised if any phone call conversations would be leaked too.
Oh, and that was construed. That was construed as a threat. That's a threat.
Oh
my God, he threatened him.
Horrible. CNN, all of them, they're all
Trump
going
is such
nuts over the threat.
I mean, good God, people. All right, the man likes 2 scoops of ice cream. All right, who cares? So,
oh my God. Oh, and he likes extra sauce with his chicken. He likes Thousand Island salad dressing.
How dare he?
He drinks Diet Coke while everybody else drinks water. Oh my God.
You know what? How dare he puts the Thousand Island dressing on his salad? All right, he should have French. All right.
Everybody else uses vinaigrette, and he uses Thousand Island.
Oh, Shaky is saying he praised that Trey Gowdy is the new FBI director. Well, we're going to talk about the possible FBI directors that Trump has in mind.
He also, not only does he have 2 scoops of ice cream, he has chocolate cream pie. Scandalous.
Chocolate. Screw him for having chocolate cream pie.
Yeah.
It should be vanilla.
You know, he's going to have whatever he wants, and that's just the end of it. They should get over it, you know?
Yeah, but going back, 3 separate occasions. First time was a dinner between him and Comey. The other 2 times was phone calls. And that right there is the key. Comey notified him on 3 separate occasions that he is not under investigation. Trump is not under investigation. The campaign is. The campaign's under investigation, but it's all fake. It's all, you know, a big whole nothing burger.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is, the man, like I say, it's a completely separate thing. The campaign and the man, they're separate.
Yeah. I mean,
I still think that Trump needs to lay off the Twitter. I think at this point it is doing him harm.
I'm going to have to agree. I think he needs to only tweet if he's like, you know, signing an executive order or if he's going to do his weekly address. Right. But you know, tweeting saying that there's phone calls and everything, wait until they conclude the investigation before he starts tweeting again. As much as I love his tweets, he needs to roll back on him.
Yeah, because they are just taking them way out of context. They're not.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. I don't think he should stop tweeting. I don't think. I think he's doing just
fine. I think I know where you're going to go with this, because if you like what he tweets because the mainstream media picks it up and they being trolled by him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he trolled Rosie O'Donnell today. He said, "Hey, Rosie, we actually agree on something," referring to Comey.
And then he had a retweet of Rosie saying, "Fire Comey."
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's great. I love his tweets. They're great. I mean, every morning I wake up, I have to check his Twitter, because That's exactly what's going to be in the news is Trump's Twitter.
Hey, listen, he's the president of the United States. He ought to be free to tweet. That's how I look at it. And besides, the mainstream media is not going to tell the whole story.
I agree. I agree. We need to be able to tweet.
The fake news is not going to tell the whole story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they don't.
But I agree.
So that's why
he has the right to tweet.
Like it is the real thing, and people are believing it, and it's going to keep us separated.
Well, going back to the Twitter real quick, I agree. He has the right to tweet. Just watch how he warns it. Watch how you warn your tweets. Won't be taken out of context, so they won't be used against them. Just watch how he warns them. That's my advice.
It seems like that is the major bone of contention with the left and with the fake news media. It's when he tweets something out, he trolls people. I mean,
I think it's great. I love it.
Freaking out. Spicer couldn't even didn't even talk about it. He's like, we are not going to talk, about that.
Well, he has every right not to talk about it. If Spicer doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't have to.
Well, I got some news about Spicer and his whole inside campaign. And Spicer may not be around for too long. From what I've been reading, is that Spicer is going to get the boot probably in the next couple of weeks. And Trump is looking at Reince Priebus and booting him.
Ooh.
And from what I've seen, and this is the source from InfoWars, and taking it what it is that Trump is really pissed off that Comey didn't do nothing about the leaks. So he fired Comey. Not only the main reason he fired Comey was because of the Hillary Clinton. I think he's pissed off about the Russia investigation and how that's not going anywhere. So he got the 6'8" swamp monster out of there. Now Sean Spicer and Reince Priebus might be on the chopping block. So basically, Trump is taking the gloves off and saying, you know what, I'm not going to work with the establishment anymore. I'm going to put in my people. Which he should have done in the first place. I mean, I get he probably wanted to, wait 100 days and see if he can try to work with them. That didn't work out, so now he's going to get rid of everybody and bring in his own people and go from scratch.
Well, I mean, Spicer has done a good job, but
I like Spicer.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the president's right. The president has the right to make transitions if he chooses. Maybe he'll pick. I mean, what's her name? The deputy press secretary?
Guilford.
No.
Huckabee?
Huckabee Sanders. What was her first name? Mary?
Sarah
Huckabee Sanders, yeah.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Yeah.
She did a good job filling in for Spicer. But
yeah, she doesn't let them get away with crap.
But the rumor mill is that Kimberly Guilford from Fox might be taking Spicer's place. Guilfoyle, yeah, might be taking Spicer's place.
Oh, she's.
let me get a towel and dab that. Let me dab off that drool, Henry.
She is muy caliente.
I know her, but I can't think what she looks like.
But she's on the 5. She's the brunette one on the 5.
Is she some kind of Hispanic?
Oh, the one.
Have no idea.
She's real pretty.
I have no idea if she's Hispanic or not, but she would be a good choice. She would be a good choice to replace Spicer. If Trump wants to go that way. Now let's see if the left has any.
Getting her own show. I don't think she'll go over there.
Well, she was supposed to be in the running in the beginning of his administration, but she got passed over for Sean Spicer.
Well, now Tony Snow worked for George W. Bush shortly before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Fox News. He was a Fox News analyst. And sometimes he was sitting in for Bill O'Reilly. Tony Snell would. And then then Bush hired him as the press secretary. He was one of Bush's press secretaries.
Mm-hmm. But so a few like I think it was either the day after or so, and Nikki, you probably seen this. I saw somewhere that General Flynn and they hand out subpoenas, and there's a grand jury involved now. But I haven't seen anything else from that. Nikki, you said you've been following. Have you seen anything about that?
About what?
Subpoenas being handed out and the grand jury.
I did hear something about that, but I didn't hear in depth about who had already received them or how they were being delivered.
Yeah.
Nobody was asking any questions about that.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it, and then it just got dropped completely. I haven't heard any more thing about it.
Mm-hmm. But I did miss today's press conference. So I don't know what was said today.
Yeah, I'm going to have to probably go back and check and see what was going on probably.
And I wanted to see Spicer and what he would say about the tweets, but evidently he said absolutely nothing. So that made even more scandal.
I saw something from that, and he said he's not going to comment any further about that. And right. the whole funny thing was when this story broke was that they said that Sean Spicer was hiding in the bushes. I got a complete laugh out of that.
Well, I imagine there's going to be some more questions about Flynn and all that. So
yeah, Flynn, Paul Manafort, Jared Kushner. Thanks.
Yeah.
I wanted to see stuff on Manafort because there is history with Russia and Manafort.
Yeah.
So that had interested me, but then he never testified. He never came, right?
He was supposed to testify, but I haven't heard anything from that. And Kushner was supposed to testify too, but I haven't heard anything.
So I don't know what happened with all that. It just went away.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was delayed, and we just haven't heard from it yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to this, and we haven't been heard. Go ahead, Henry.
Speaking of Hillary Clinton, right now there's a South Park episode. It's an older one where she goes to South Park. This is right when she was running in 2008, and she had a bomb in her
hoo-ha
stavits, as it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was great. Shaky said that we need to get rid of the fake Republicans like McCain, him, and the undercover Democrats. I completely agree. We need to get rid of McCain, Lindsey Graham, Paul Rhino.
Yep.
But I like McCain's daughter. She's a hoot, man.
Do not like her. No.
If she's anything like him, then yeah.
Yeah.
But
she's a very, very opinionated gal, man.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her. Sorry.
But so
I like her because she speaks her mind. She shocks everybody up there every day.
So where is this going to go now? This whole investigation, where the whole fake Russian narrative, where does it go now?
They're not going to find nothing.
Yeah.
If it would have already been leaked.
Yeah.
It would have already been out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the president, and he has been, if the president has been exonerated 3 times, and yes, he has been by James Comey himself. Then,
well, it came out today that Comey is not going to take the testimonial offer for next week for the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's not going to testify next week.
Oh, he's not?
He's not going to testify, yeah. That just came through.
Interesting.
Huh. After the tweet, then.
Yeah. He said he's not going to testify. So either A, Comey is going to either A, hide something, or like what the media is, Trump scared Comey and not to testify. I don't know where this is.
It's gonna be crazy.
I don't know where this is going to go. I have no clue. But I can tell you one thing: Trump is not. I will. Going to be impeached. He's not going to be tried for treason because, quite frankly, he hasn't done anything treasonous. He hasn't done anything unconstitutional.
Bella.
He hasn't lied under oath.
Well, here's the thing: it's obviously it's not up to the president to go after anybody. That he leaves that to the attorney general. He leaves that to the FBI director. And once he appoints a new FBI director, it'll be it'll be up to the discretion of the FBI director or the attorney general to prosecute anyone, much less Hillary Clinton. And that's the thing. The FBI director serves at the pleasure of the president. I think that's one thing that the left needs to remember and quit freaking out so much about. He fired him. He fired him. And when 6 months ago, he needs to be fired.
I mean, what Trump did was show how hypocritical these people are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love that guy to death. So, who the block for the new FBI director?
These post McCabe might be. He's the deputy FBI director. Right now he's acting FBI director at the moment, referring to McCabe.
Acting.
Is that the one that got the 94 or 96 vote, whatever?
That's Rod Rosenstein, the one, the deputy attorney general, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
And another thing about Rod, presence in this whole Russia investigation, he was like a third, and he President Trump.
We didn't quite get that Shane.
Oh,
Trey
I said.
Yeah. We didn't quite get that, Shane. You're breaking up.
The attorney general. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but you were freezing up
and
breaking up.
Don't me to tell you this. But, I said that the deputy attorney general, Rod Rosenstein, had no presence during this whole Russia investigation, and that he was brought on board a few days ago, and he was the one that recommended to be fired.
Well, that's what they're playing it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't he say, no, I didn't, I just gave a recommendation?
He gave a recommendation. Well, they also said that he didn't want to be thrown under the bus from the White House, and that was fake news. Another piece of fake news is that Comey, DOJ, the Department of Justice, is asking for more investigation. So I have no freaking clue what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you think Trump would get to replace Comey? Roman's saying a Trey Gowdy would be acceptable. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Gowdy would be good. Let's see. Who else?
I think they all have skeletons in their closet, so I don't care. I don't know who it'll be, but they'll find something wrong. So
well, it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be someone that Trump can trust. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Comey was definitely. I mean, he was pretty squirrely. You really couldn't trust him.
Yeah, I mean, I called him the swamp monster earlier, and he's going to keep, because that dude is freaking tall.
How tall is
And
no
he's
way.
6'8". He's 6'8".
True. Yeah.
I called him the swamp monster. So Trump, he's draining the swamp slowly but surely. Let's go. And Trump retweeted this from the Drudge, and I figured this is great news. So according to Grabian News, there was a top 10 list of major FBI scandals on Comey Watch. So let's go to number 10. CBS recently reported that 2 terrorists sought to kill Americans attending the Dra Muhammad event in Garland, Texas. The FBI not only had an understanding an attack was coming, but actually had an undercover agent traveling with the Islamists, Simpson and Nadar Sufi. I guess that's how you pronounce it, if not. The FBI has refused to comment on why the agent on the scene did not intervene during the attack. Number 9, the FBI also investigated the terrorist who killed 49 people and wounded 53 more at the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida. Despite a more than 10-month investigation on Omar Mateen, during which Mateen admitted lying to the agents, the FBI opted against pressing further and closing the case. Number 8, the father of a radical Islamist who detonated a backpack bomb in New York City in 2016 alerted the FBI to his son's radicalization. The FBI, however, cleared Ahmed Khan Rahimi after a brief interview. So this is some serious stuff that happened. During the investigation, number 7, during the investigation of the Hillary Clinton mishandling of classified material, the FBI made an unusual deal, and this right here we didn't even get to. The FBI made an unusual deal in which the Clinton aides were both given immunity and allowed to destroy the laptops. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. Oh yeah, you get immunity, and you can also destroy the laptops. Destroy the evidence.
Yeah.
Number 6, in 2015, the FBI conducted a controversial raid on a Texas political meeting, fingerprinting, photographing, and seizing phones from attendees, some in the group believed to be in restoring Texas as an independent constitutional republic. Number 5, when the FBI demanded Apple to create a backdoor, I remember this, that allowed law enforcement agencies to unlock cell phones of various suspects, the company refused, sparkling in the feds and America's biggest tech company. What makes the incident indicative of Comey's questionable management? At A, the FBI jumped the gun as they were indeed ultimately able to crack the San Bernardino terrorist phone. And B, almost every major national security figure sided with Apple, from the CIA Director General Petraeus, former CIA Director, to former CIA Director James Woolsey, to former Director of the NSA, General Michael Hayden, warning that such a crack would inevitably end up in the wrong hands. Number 4, the Obama administration, the FBI claimed that 2 private jets was being used primarily for counterterrorism. In fact, they were mostly being used for Eric Holder and Robert Mueller's business and personal travel. Number 3, the FBI had a possession of emails sent by Nadal Hasan saying that he wanted to kill his fellow soldiers to protect the Taliban, but didn't intervene, leading to many critics to argue the tragedy that resulted in death of 31 Americans at Fort Hood could have been prevented. Shortly after the NSA scandal exploded in 2013, the FBI was exposed to conducting its own data mining on innocent Americans. The agency, Bloomberg reported, retains that material for decades, even if no wrongdoing is found. And the number 1 biggest embarrassment of the FBI, Before he bombed the Boston Marathon, the FBI interviewed Tamerlan Tarnasnev, but let him go. Russia sent the Obama administration a second warning, but the FBI opted against investigating him again.
Russia. Oh, let's look at Obama then.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a Russia connection.
Russia. There's more Russia connections between Obama, Hillary, Bill Clinton than there are Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But not only was James Comey fired, we also had an election overseas this past week. The French election, and the French elected Emmanuel Macron. Devastating. Just absolutely devastating. I feel that I feel that was rigged. I wholeheartedly believe that election was rigged.
Probably was. Wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. And plus, the media is way more strict on censorship in France than there is in the United States. So media would probably have something to do with it.
I don't really follow them over there, so I don't care about us. I don't care about them.
bunch of freaking frogs. If they want to have Macron as their leader, let them.
Yeah, I mean, I made a video and I made a blog post on our WordPress, our newly formed WordPress, that France could be in fact dead within the next couple of years. I mean, the terrorism is running rampant way up through Paris, way up through France, and there's no coming back from that.
I think Europe is pretty well finished.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't see Angela Merkel losing the Germany election. I think she's going to win that one. She's going to win the re-election.
Yep.
And I found out that Putin is up for re-election next year, so that's going to be a good election to keep an eye on.
Well, 2 Russian ambassadors came and visited the White House this week. Scandalous.
Yeah. Very scandalous, because it was on the day after Comey got fired.
Yeah.
So the Russian ambassador and foreign minister both came to the White House, and one of the stupid mainstream media personnels, Andrea Mitchell, I think that's her name.
Andrea Mitchell?
Yeah. 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 No, the crying lady who cried and bawled her eyes out on election night asked the most stupidest question to the minister, saying, "Did you know James Comey got fired?" And the Russian was like, "Fired? You got fired?" No, I didn't know. I mean, he was being sarcastic. He was trolling the media. And not only that was the stupid question a CBS journalist asked Putin right before a hockey game. I mean, he was coming out of a hockey, he was all geared up and everything, and the CBS journalist, the crappy broadcasting system, asked him, how is the firing, and this is the exact question, how is the firing of James Comey going to affect Russia relations? That was the most stupidest question there. If I was Putin, I would have just blown her off. I'd be like, don't want to talk to her. Don't know.
I think in light of what Colbert said last week, it should be called the cock holster broadcasting system.
just call it the cock broadcasting system.
Yeah, Colbert. Yeah.
Speaking of Colbert,
the FCC. I was gonna say the FCC can look into him. And they can, but I don't really think they're going to do much to him,
no, absolutely not.
Probably not.
The thing is that time slot or that time period,
time slot, 11:35 to 12:35 is the hour that the FCC is most relaxed because there's not enough kids up at that point.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I don't think he's going to get fined, like I said last week. Quite frankly, he's not going to get reprimanded at all. But speaking of Colbert, he mentioned to his audience that James Comey got fired, and the audience unpredictably started cheering.
Cheered.
They cheered,
yes.
and Stephen Colbert had to scold them. How dare you think outside the box like that? How dare you?
Yeah.
I mean, geez,
I saw
how
that.
dare you have another opinion?
I saw Mark Dice's analysis of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see here what I got down for topics. All right, we talked about Comey. We dedicated a whole half an hour of the show about that. Trump Russia, White House shakeup. Yeah, French elections. Okay, so earlier today there was a whole bunch of hacking going on throughout the world. Actually, I haven't completely, but I have anybody heard about this hacking?
I saw a brief item about it. I didn't pay much attention, but I know that everybody's going to have to be really careful now.
Yeah. I mean,
watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah, there's no privacy anymore. There's no even if you don't even have the inkling bit of technology privacy anymore. I mean, people will find out anything that you did 20 years ago, or when find that out. There's no more privacy anymore.
Yeah, the hacking bug has finally hit the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
out of all these hacking stuff, there's still no evidence of Trump and Russia. I mean, even WikiLeaks came out today and said that they would pay people $10,000 if they got the Trump Comey phone calls released. And Anthony Cumara posted on Twitter a $1,000 bounty if anybody can prove that Trump is being treasonous. And nobody's took him up on the offer they get because there's nothing there. I mean, Trump, he's not perfect, but he's a businessman, and he's not going to do anything that's going to ruin his business reputation. And even if he did, he's going to go and take the legal way out.
Well, here's the thing. What's going to happen here is this guy is a businessman. He knows how to negotiate. The art of the deal. Let's not forget that. He figures if he can get Russia on our side, actually go a long way towards helping us, especially against ISIS. If we can get his help with ISIS, very well.
North Korea. No, I don't understand why.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't understand why they want to resurrect the Cold War. I understand why. The only thing that comes to mind is it's profitable. If you resurrect the Cold War, they're going to put a lot of money in pockets, because that's what wars do.
But I saw a photo of Trump with the two Russians, and they seemed to be having a good time. They were yucking it up and everything. They seemed to be have a joke. I mean, it was great.
Yep.
That could be the beginning of a good relationship, some good relations between the U.S. and Russia.
Yeah.
But they still complained because they didn't have a camera in there. They complained because there was a Russian in there taking pictures.
And that was a lie. They had one White House photographer and they had one Russian photographer in that room.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know.
Let's see here. Shaky posted saying that he had a Charleston Model Rocket Club in the White House today. He said that they can fire model rockets further than North Korea can fire a real rocket. That's great. Yeah, that's true. And I saw that, and they call that rocket Trump because, and I forgot the reason why. They named it after Trump. Let's see here.
Yeah, my thing is that Viagra.
I mean, do they get their missiles from Acme?
Yeah.
It's like Kim Jong-un is like, you know, Wile E. Coyote, and we're the Roadrunner. So this came in. Glenn Beck offered a job for Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, I don't see
Really?
Bill O'Reilly. I don't see Bill O'Reilly joining Glenn Beck.
No.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
I mean, now would come on the O'Reilly show every week sometimes.
I like Bill O'Reilly, but I wasn't gonna pay for his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Glenn Beck is trying to save his failing news organization right now. I'm sure we've got more viewers than Glenn Beck. All right.
Glenn Beck just went batshit. I mean,
yeah,
referring to Trump.
Yeah, he sold out. He sold out.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much it that happened. Oh, we forgot. Sally Yates and James Clapper testified this Monday. I saw bits and pieces of it, and I saw where James Clapper testified under oath that there's no Russian collusion. But Sally Yates didn't drop any big bombshells, from what I understood.
No. I only watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, I only
watched pretty boring.
Pieces too. Yeah, I mean, no bombshells from Sally Yates, and everybody was riding.
All they kept saying is, I can't tell you here. I can't tell you here.
Why?
Yes, but I can tell you. You know, that's all they kept saying.
Yeah. I mean, and Sally Yates, she was. I don't understand why they punt Sally Yates, James Comey, and some unknown judge from some state saying that it was all investigating Trump. That was a lie. Sally Yates was never investigating Trump. She was fired because she didn't follow through on the executive order that Trump issued. And the judge was also fired because he wasn't following whatever order Trump issued. So I don't know why they came out like that. And again, Trump is not under investigation, according to Trump himself. This week in Trump signed a couple of executive orders, and he also appeared with Lester Holt in an interview, which I did saw that. Did any of you two see that?
No, I saw clips of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I only saw clips too, but he kept interrupting him or something.
Lester Assholt. Yeah.
I think this is fun. We get to make up names on people that we don't like. Nicknames. But I saw the interview, and Lester Holt was trying to, trick Trump into saying something he didn't want to say, and Trump wasn't playing that. So Trump, and that's where the whole where Trump said he got 3 notifications from Comey stating that he's not under investigation. Mm-hmm. But I think that's pretty much it with the big news.
Of course, the fake news media, they won't report that he said that, you see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They won't report that. I mean,
yeah, they won't report. They only report what you want, that you need to know. The forced narrative they try to force onto people. But I found the article about Comey answering the request to testify, from Dennis Michael Lynch, and great alternative media source. He does some tremendous work. Former FBI Director James Comey has rejected an invitation to testify before the Senate Intelligence Committee next week. The investigation was for what would have been a closed session before the panel by Committee Chairman Richard Burr and Vice Chairman Senator Mark Warner. In an interview on Friday with MSNBC, Senator Warner said Comey rejected the invitation and thus will not appear before the committee. As part of their probe into Russia's possible interference with the 2016 election, the Senate Intelligence Committee was hoping Comey would shed some light on the FBI's ongoing investigation into the same issue. Comey was spearheading the investigation at the time he was fired by President Trump earlier this week. So he rejected the invitation, which I don't think it should have been a closed door situation. I think it should have been public and broadcast on the news, that testimony. Because I would love to see what the swamp monster has to say.
They really all should be closed doors. That way they can say what they need to say instead of, no, I can't hear. No, I can't, and make it whoever has the clearance, have the clearance, and get it all out. Because it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
I've seen almost every Senate hearing about the Russia investigation, and Comey, he was the head guy on this, and he kept saying, I can't comment on that, it's ongoing. I can't comment on this, it's ongoing. It's just, either A, there's nothing there, which there's nothing there. They would have found something by now. But just end it already, people. Jeez, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing this. And I hope it ends soon. I hope it ends soon, but I think that's pretty much it on the big news this week. So turning to local news, Henry, what do you got for us?
Hang on a second. I'm gonna try and. Okay, we got a couple of stories. The first story is Mississippi VA system won't be affected by possible closures, and that's good to hear. Department of Veterans Affairs has over 1,000 structures across the U.S. that are being maintained but are not being used. Appointed VA Secretary David Shulkin, it's a drain on the system that must be cut off. But does that mean care for Mississippi veterans will suffer? Dr. David Walker, director of the medical center of the GV Sonny Montgomery VA in Jackson, says no, it's quite the opposite. This is costing millions of dollars even though these structures are not being used. Director Shulkin wants to divest these structures so that the money can be used for veteran care and other veteran-related issues. Walker continued, in Jackson, we don't have any unused buildings, so it wouldn't affect us, and I don't see an impact on the state's 7 clinics either. At a recent White House hearing, Shulkin stated some $25 million in federal funds is wasted on these buildings every year. And plus a lot of them, they're just left there. They're eyesores. It would be a good thing to, demolish them or use them for something else, clean them up. There's no need to have them just sitting there. So that's how I look at it. There's no need for them to go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a good thing what the VA director is attempting to do.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff going on this weekend. Of course, it's Mother's Day Sunday. Happy Mother's Day, Nikki. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, by the way.
Thank you very much.
We got to say Happy Mother's Day to one of the very hottest first ladies in American history, Melania Trump.
Melania. That's right.
One of the hottest, youngest too, I think. I do believe.
All right, Mississippi Weekend Gospel Food.
Go ahead, Henry.
Mississippi Weekend Gospel Food Drive and Mama. for everyone across Magnolia State this weekend. On Saturday, check out Gospel Singing for a Cure in South Haven. Gospel performers will be singing all throughout the day to raise money for the St. Jude Research Hospital in Memphis. It's a $5 donation at the door, and all proceeds go to the hospital. And another way to give back to Mississippi communities is through the Stamp Out Hunger food drive of the U.S. Postal Service. It's the 25th annual food drive, and it's the country's largest single-day drive. With more than a dozen Mississippi communities participating, all you have to do is leave a donation of non-perishable goods next to your mailbox before carriers pick up on Saturday. They'll take your donation to the local food agency. And Sunday is Mother's Day, so don't forget to show her a little extra love. So that's some stuff going on here in the Magnolia State. Oh, and I saw on our local news that down here at Deer Creek, which is down in Leland in Greenville, there's an alligator that's drifting around the water.
Ooh.
Down there.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, they showed video of it. Yeah. So.
Oh, did you see the video?
They say as long as.
Did you see the video? I don't know if you saw it. Go ahead, Henry. Follow up on that.
They say as long as it's not a nuisance or a threat, it can stay. Although some are concerned it may try to eat the ducks that are in the creek. So. Yeah,
so what? If it eats the ducks, it's better than a duck than a human. I mean.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, there was a video a couple of months ago. It was this huge alligator. It was like a freaking T-Rex kind of type alligator walking across. Let me see if I can't bring that up. That was cool.
I've seen a photo of a gator that Diane Stocking niece showed in one of her presentations, and they call it Cletus. It was a huge gator. And that was down in Florida.
This was on a golf course, and this is not the gator I was talking about.
Gators can get huge, humongous. We've had several of them caught right here in Mississippi. Several world record gators.
See if I can find that. It wasn't on a golf course. I think it was just like a large gator crossing road. No, watch me, can't find this. And now I can't find it. Crap. All right. I'm going to find it. I'm going to post the link and I'll share it in the description below, and I'll share it next week. I'll find it. I'm going to have to do some investigative work. But for my local piece, Journal, Jeff Sessions visits West Virginia on opioid crisis. This is great. I didn't know Jeff Sessions was in town. If I did, I would have went and I would have shook that man's hand, and I was telling straight to lock that bitch up. It was a warm West Virginia welcome to the U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, but then there is business. Hundreds of stakeholders gathered at the University of Charleston trying to come to grips with the state's opioid epidemic. Sessions emphasized prevention, law enforcement, and treatment. We're going to come together as a nation, and we are not going to allow this abuse. This threat to our country erode our globe, our country. Jeff Sessions, U.S. Attorney General. Not everyone agrees with the Attorney General's priorities. See more rehabilitation programs that the people that cut people off drugs and off the street, says Alania Kalemis of Ward County Invisible. To speak to Mr. Sessions, I would tell him that the health care to the opioid epidemic and not incarceration, said Janine Peters of Wood County Invisible. Other were welcoming of, or more welcoming of the drug summit. Even a Democratic delegate came to listen to the Republican Attorney General. And no matter who comes here to pay attention to us, I think it's important we come here and hear them out and understand if we focus on this problem, no matter what party, it's a good thing for West Virginia, said Delegate Andrew Robinson of Kanawha. And all the Attorney General spoke for about 30 minutes. It was all about drugs. There was no mention of the controversy surrounding now former, I love that word, former FBI Director James Comey. Mark Curtis, 59 News, chief political reporter. So in this article, Jeff Sessions was more tough on law enforcement, trying to put the drugs off the streets, keep it off the streets. But I also agree that there needs to be rehabilitation programs, more rehabilitation programs out there for people that wants to get clean and needs to get clean, instead of just throw them in prison and saying forget about it. I think the people that really wants to make something of themselves and really wants to Walter White saying, Walter White, he said, crap, what did he say? Henry, help me out. Henry.
Huh?
Henry, help me out. What did Walter White say? What he said that he put on apply yourself. There you go.
Apply yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, if they really want to apply themselves and make something of themselves, then yeah, get more rehabilitation centers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just came in through. See something, Nikki?
No, I'm gonna be getting off here pretty soon.
All right. Yeah, we're probably gonna be running it up after this. So on Twitter, poll.
They're calling me on other ones. Everybody's having shows tonight.
That's okay. We'll be wrapping up in a few seconds. So poll and on Twitter, and what poll is a 4chan site, 4chan subreddit site thing, and they sent out this tweet. They said Comey now wants to suddenly be very quiet, and anonymous knows he's in trouble. And let me read what the anonymous post said. The anonymous post said pretty much this: what he is actually doing is calling Comey's bluff. With what is both of them know what actually went down at that table. While Trump can bluff about what was said, in that case, Comey he was full of shit. Would no tapes could possibly exist, and would just continue pushing his version of events, effectively calling Trump out and making him look bad. Obviously, Trump would never make that play. So Trump is telling the truth, at least what about what was said. And Comey is spinning lies for a political agenda. Honestly, would you trust that rat further than you can throw him? That leaves two choices for Comey. A, he assumes Trump is bluffing about the tapes and continue his lies. Or B, he crawls back into a hole and shuts his effing mouth. My money is that bastard will get real quiet all of a sudden. I don't think he is that kind of man who has the balls to call that kind of bluff and potentially hang his head in a noose. If he gets quiet, you will know why. You heard it here first. And a tweet from Jim Sutko, whatever, says, source with first-hand knowledge tells me Comey turned down Senate invite to testify because he wants to lay low for a while and take some time off. And this is real interesting here because if you a while back, Susan Rice, a whole Susan Rice story came out about her unmasking. Yeah, her unmasking, illegally unmasking, I might add, whole Russia and unmasking a whole bunch of reporters and a whole bunch of Americans. Well, basically threw all that under the rug. And if he testifies and if Susan Rice testifies, they're both in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Spying, let me see that.
Very true.
Yeah, Comey had to refuse probe illegal spying. And all my goal for us tonight, we vent our frustration with the whole Russia and Trump fake news. Swamp is beginning to drain a little bit. The swamp monster has been drained. James Comey is out of there. He's cooking 7 foot tall. Anyway, that's going to do it for us tonight. Tune in tomorrow night for Saul Goodcast. We'll discuss not one, but 2 excellent episodes of Better Call Saul. Oh, man, that was a great episode Monday night.
Sabrosito and Chicanery.
Chicanery, yeah. And I think Chuck is really painting himself into a corner that he cannot get out of.
I think so.
But, yep, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, 2 episodes of Saul Goodcast. And then week, May 19th, is another Not Mainstream. We don't know what's going down. We didn't predict that Comey would be fired this week. And that overshadowed the... Who knows? Another firing might happen. Sean Spicer, Reince Priebus, from what I heard, is on the wheel. See if they'll be fired by next week. But my prediction is that going to be much longer. He is not going to be tried for treason. He's not going to be tried for impeachment. Constitutional. Anyway, good night, everybody. God bless America and God bless President Donald J. Trump.
Peace.
Yeah.